Stop. Just stop for a moment and feel it. That weight pressing on your chest, that storm of thoughts rattling your mind, that quiet panic whispering in your ears, fear, anger, anxiety. It's real. You've fought it before, and yet here it comes again. The world tells you to push, to fix, to escape. But what if the battle isn't out there? What if the battlefield is inside, and the victory begins within? Every thought you chase, every emotion you resist, every moment you fight, what is you feed the very chaos you despise. But hear this, you are not your thoughts. They are clouds drifting across a sky that belongs to you, not to them. Your mind is the sky, your emotions are passing weather, and mastery is learning to watch without drowning. Imagine for a moment, standing at the edge of a mountain during a storm. The wind howls, the clouds twist violently, and yet there you are, solid, unmoving, serene. That is your nature, that is your power, and today we are going to awaken it. We are going to strip away the grip that fear, anger, and anxiety hold over you. We are going to build a fortress inside your mind, one so strong that no thought, no panic, no wave of negativity can break it. You will learn to see emotions as signals, not commands. You will learn to breathe through panic, to pause in anger, to detach from fear. You will learn to reclaim the throne of your mind and rule your internal kingdom with calm authority. By the end of this journey, you will not just endure life, you will move through it with clarity, presence, and unstoppable inner strength. But first, take a moment before we start. Tell us where you're listening from, and one virtue you're striving to strengthen today: wisdom, patience, discipline, or courage. Let the world hear your voice, and if you're ready to rise above the storm, to finally master your emotions and end the inner chaos, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell. This is more than a video, it's a call to action for your soul, a guide for your mind, and a path to your highest self. Now, let's begin. Point number 1. Master your mind. Your mind is a battlefield. Not the chaos of the world outside, not the noise of other people's expectations, not the storms that rage around you, but your own thoughts. Every flicker of fear, every pulse of anger, every surge of anxiety begins here. Yet most of us live as captives, shackled to a parade of passing images and imagined disasters. We wake with worry, move through the day with tension, and go to bed with regret. But all of this is optional. Mastery begins the moment you realize that you are not your thoughts. The Stoics compared the mind to the sky, vast, clear, unshakable, while thoughts and emotions are clouds drifting across it. Some clouds are light and fleeting, others dark and heavy, but none can claim ownership of the sky. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Fear whispers that danger may exist. Anger warns that a boundary has been crossed. Anxiety nudges you to prepare. These are signals, not commands. You are not required to react, to spiral, or to succumb. Observation is your first act of power. The moment you pause, you break the cycle. Begin by simply stopping. When a negative thought arises, inhale deeply, hold, exhale. Feel the tension release from your body. Name the sensation that grips you: fear, anger, anxiety. By labeling it, you detach from it. Then externalize it, write it down. Ask yourself, is this thought true? Is it mine to carry? By observing and recording, you reclaim clarity, control, and authority over your internal world. Modern life is relentless. Social media, deadlines, family pressures, personal expectations, they all seek to provoke emotional reactions. Yet control begins internally. Calm is not found in silence outside, but in mastery within. When your mind is still, fear, anger, and anxiety lose their grip. You become the observer of your own storms, the captain of your internal ship. Imagine standing on a cliff while a storm rages. Lightning cracks the sky, the wind screams, rain lashes against your face, yet your feet remain solid, your posture unshaken. The storm is not gone, but it no longer controls you. You are rooted in clarity and presence. Each time you notice a thought without reacting, you strengthen your sovereignty. Each pause before eruption fortifies your inner citadel. When you remind yourself that you are not your thoughts, that emotions are temporary currents, you step closer to mastery. Fear knocks, but you respond with calm. Anger rises, but you answer with discernment. Anxiety tugs at your energy, but you reclaim your center. The external world will always challenge you, but your inner fortress is impenetrable. The sky within you is always vast, free, and waiting. The clouds, your fears, your anger, your anxieties will pass, and in the stillness between them, you will find the unshakable self that is your true nature. This is the first point. Mastery begins within. All power, all clarity, all freedom starts here. Point number 2. Mastering fear. Fear is ancient, relentless, and invisible. It creeps into your chest like cold water, seeps into your mind like fog, and convinces you that you are weak, unprepared, and incapable. It whispers that danger is everywhere, that failure is inevitable, that the world is against you. Most people flee from fear, distract themselves from it, or suppress it. But the Stoics teach something different. Fear is not the enemy. Fear is a messenger. Fear is a signal. Fear is energy that can either consume you or propel you. Consider the mind as a river. Fear is the current, rushing fast and unpredictable. Resist it, and it drags you under. Ignore it, and it overwhelms. Step into it with awareness, and it carries you forward. This is mastery, moving with the current, not against it, not blindly, but with presence, control, and deliberate action. Fear is rooted in imagination. Most of what you fear does not exist now. It exists in projections, in stories your mind tells about what might happen. Marcus Aurelius warned that much of human suffering comes not from reality, but from anticipation. The heart races, the breath shortens, the muscles tense, all for something that may never come. Recognizing this is the first act of power. Fear can only dominate if you believe it is inevitable, if you treat imagined futures as facts. Begin by observing it. When fear rises, notice it in your body, the tight chest, the racing pulse, the shallow breath. Label it internally. This is fear. Naming it is claiming it. Then ground yourself. Breathe slowly, deeply, deliberately, feeling the weight of your body against the floor, the solidity of your feet on the ground. Fear may exist, but you do not have to obey it. The Stoics teach action, not avoidance. Micro-actions dissolve fear's power. If public speaking terrifies you, speak to one person first. If confrontation paralyzes you, set a small boundary today. Each deliberate step proves to your mind that you are not a prisoner. Fear exists to show you what matters. Redirect its energy into preparation, into focus, into movement. Energy spent panicking is wasted energy. Energy spent acting consciously is power. Visualize it. You stand at the edge of a cliff. The wind screams. The drop is terrifying. Your heart races. Your knees shake. You breathe. You observe. You step forward. Fear is still present, but it no longer writes your story. You are the author. You are the observer. You are the one who decides whether to succumb or rise. This is mastery. Fear is also temporary. Its grip loosens each time you face it. Each moment you pause instead of fleeing. Each time you act despite the trembling, you expand your inner landscape. Fear is no longer a jailer. It becomes a guide. It points to areas of growth, to lessons unlearned, to courage waiting to emerge. The world will always contain uncertainty. Life will always surprise, challenge, and demand. But when you master fear, you reclaim your freedom. You no longer live in anticipation of disaster. You move through life with clarity, presence, and authority. Fear exists, but it does not command you. It is a river to navigate, a teacher to heed, a fire to harness. Step into it consciously, and it carries you forward instead of dragging you under. Mastery over fear begins with one truth. It is energy, not a sentence. Observe it, name it, move deliberately, face it, harness it, and slowly, the panic that once paralyzed you becomes the force that propels you toward courage, presence, and the unshakable self that always resides within. Point number 3. Mastering anger. Anger is fire. It ignites suddenly, consuming thought, twisting perception, and demanding immediate release. It flares when someone disrespects you, when life feels unfair, or when expectations collide with reality. Most people let it dictate their actions, lash out in words or deeds, and then spend days extinguishing the flames. But anger is not your enemy. It is a signal, a teacher, a message from the self that something matters deeply. The task is not suppression but mastery. The Stoics believed anger clouds judgment. Seneca warned that uncontrolled anger is a short madness. It blinds, it misleads, it fractures relationships and corrodes the soul. Yet the energy of anger can be transformed. Like fire, it can either burn indiscriminately or forge strength and clarity. The first step is awareness. Notice the physical sensations: heat in your chest, a tightening in your jaw, a rapid pulse. These signals tell you that you are alive, that your boundaries have been crossed, that your values are being challenged. Anger arises when expectations clash with reality. We believe people should act a certain way, that life should conform to our desires, that the world owes us calm and fairness. When it does not, fury ignites. But the Stoic response is radical. Reality is reality. We argue less with it, we resist less, and we direct our energy into what we can control: our own choices, words, and actions. Anger loses its tyranny the moment we accept that the world unfolds as it will, and that we alone are accountable for our inner state. Begin by pausing. When the heat rises, breathe deeply. Feel your body. Step back mentally. Observe the situation without immediate judgment. The first act of mastery is interruption. Do not react while the fire is raging. Then reframe the cause. Ask yourself, is this attack real or imagined? Is this slight permanent or fleeting? Is my reaction aligned with my values or my impulses? By creating this space, you transform instinctive rage into conscious action. Anger is also energy that demands direction. Channel it into creation, not destruction. Write, speak with intention, exercise or solve a problem that challenges you. Let the intensity of emotion fuel clarity and productivity rather than chaos. The world tests patience constantly, but patience is not passivity, it is strategic strength, a calm force that bends fire into shape rather than letting it consume everything. Imagine standing before someone who provokes you, the blood in your veins hot with rage. Instead of lashing out, you breathe, you speak with precision, you act with authority. The moment passes, the fire cools, and your dignity remains intact. You do not become a victim of your own impulses. You have converted the raw energy of anger into mastery, presence, and inner authority. Repeated practice builds resilience. Each encounter with anger, when handled deliberately, expands your capacity to respond rather than react. You learn that your internal world is sovereign. Others may provoke, circumstances may frustrate, but your mind remains unbroken. Like steel forged in flame, you emerge stronger each time. Anger, once tamed, becomes a signal of boundaries, a spark of motivation, and a compass toward necessary action. It is not eliminated but transformed. It no longer dictates your speech or your life. The fire that once threatened to consume you now illuminates your path, guiding you with clarity, courage, and precision. Mastery of anger begins with recognition, followed by pause, reflection, and conscious action. It requires discipline, presence, and repeated practice. Yet once achieved, it transforms your life. You move through conflicts with calm authority. You maintain clarity amidst provocation. You convert raw emotion into disciplined power. The internal storm that once erupted destructively now flows like controlled fire, illuminating your mind, your choices, and your destiny. Point number 4, mastering anxiety. Anxiety is a shadow that clings, quiet but relentless. It whispers of failure, of loss, of what might go wrong. It races through the mind like a stormy sea, tossing thought after thought, dragging the body into tension, pulling the spirit into unrest. Most people respond with avoidance, distraction, overthinking, or numbing themselves. But the Stoics teach a different path. Anxiety is not a curse, it is information. It signals where your attention is caught in illusions, where your energy is spent on what cannot yet be controlled, and where your presence is lost to the chaos of what if. The first realization is this: the future does not exist. Anxiety is the mind projecting potential disasters, imagining worst-case scenarios, building mountains of possibility from grains of uncertainty. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that events themselves are neutral. It is our judgment of them that creates suffering. The anxious mind confuses imagination with reality, and in doing so turns energy into chains. To master anxiety, you must reclaim your attention, your judgment, and your internal environment. Begin by observing the storm within. Notice your heart racing, your chest tightening, your thoughts looping endlessly. Acknowledge them without judgment. They are not commands. They are signals, alerts to what your mind perceives as threatening, but perception is not reality. With every breath, anchor yourself in the present. Feel your feet on the ground, your body supported by gravity, your senses connected to what is real now. Presence is the antidote to anxiety. Next, confront the illusion. Ask which of these worries are within my control, which are projections beyond my influence. Focus energy only on what you can act upon. Accept what is outside your control without resistance. Anxiety loses its grip when the mind stops fighting shadows. The Stoic does not try to eliminate concern entirely. Rather, they direct energy where it matters, detaching from that which is uncontrollable. Anxiety can also be transformed into deliberate action. Plan, prepare, and execute in the present moment. Micro steps reduce uncertainty. One clear action today prevents a flood of imagined crises tomorrow. The act of doing, even in small increments, converts restless energy into productive force. The mind, once spinning, becomes a tool, sharp and purposeful. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast plain. Clouds of worry swirling overhead. You breathe deeply, ground yourself, and take one step forward, then another. The clouds do not vanish immediately, but they cease to dictate your movement. You walk through uncertainty with calm, measured presence, guiding your energy with clarity rather than fear. Each step is mastery. Repeated practice is essential. Each time you pause instead of panicking, each time you act despite trembling anticipation, you expand your internal resilience. Anxiety becomes a compass, showing you where preparation, presence, and discipline are needed. Its power diminishes when confronted with conscious awareness, focused attention, and deliberate choice. The mind is a garden. Anxiety is the weeds that grow when attention wanders into what cannot yet be controlled. Pull them out. Step into presence. Nurture what matters. Over time, what was once a storm becomes a tool, a signal, a teacher guiding you toward clarity, alignment, and purposeful action. Mastery of anxiety does not mean a life without uncertainty. It means a life with control over how you experience it. It means energy focused on what you can influence, presence anchoring you in reality, and acceptance dissolving imagined chains. When mastered, anxiety becomes fuel for preparation, growth, and disciplined action rather than a cage of endless worry. You remain calm, present, and sovereign. The storm may rage, but your mind is unshakable, your focus unwavering, and your inner fortress intact. Point number 5. End negative thoughts and emotions. Negative thoughts and emotions are like chains we wrap around ourselves, often without realizing it. They creep in quietly at first, small and subtle, a doubt, a frustration, a lingering what if. Then they grow, feeding on attention and belief, twisting perception, and convincing you that the world is against you, that you are powerless, that life is a storm to be endured rather than a field to navigate. Most people fight them externally, seek distractions, or suppress them temporarily, but Stoicism teaches a deeper, internal approach. Thoughts and emotions are not rulers of your life, they are visitors. You are not your thoughts. You are not your fear, your anger, or your anxiety. Each of these is a cloud drifting across the sky of your consciousness. Some are dark and heavy, some fleeting and light, but none define the sky itself. Observing them without judgment dissolves their power. When you no longer argue with them, when you no longer resist or cling, they begin to dissipate. The mind, once reactive, becomes reflective, serene and sovereign. The first step is awareness. Notice what you are thinking and feeling. Do not push it away. Do not blame yourself. Observe as if you are standing above the storm, looking down at clouds swirling below. Label it internally. This is anger. This is sadness. This is regret. Labeling does not mean surrendering. It means reclaiming authority. You now recognize what is temporary and what is eternal within you. Next, accept reality. Negative emotions often flare because we resist what is. Life is imperfect. People are flawed. Circumstances are unpredictable. Acceptance does not mean passivity. It means clarity. It means using energy where it matters, rather than fighting what cannot be changed. Stoics remind us, suffering comes not from events themselves, but from judgment of them. Detach from judgment, and the storm loses its force. Then redirect energy. Negative thoughts are signals of imbalance, not sentences of doom. Transform them into action. Write, reflect, solve, create or strengthen your body and mind. Movement, even small, reclaims control. Each deliberate act proves to the mind that you are not a victim of emotion but a master of choice. The fire of negativity becomes warmth for clarity, strength and focus. Imagine standing at the center of a swirling storm. Lightning crackles, wind screams, waves rise around you, yet your posture remains steady. You breathe, you observe, you act deliberately. The storm rages, but you are unshaken. Thoughts and emotions are clouds. Your awareness is the sky. The space between them is your power. Step into that space and negativity loses its hold. Consistency is key. Each time you notice a negative thought without reacting, each time you pause before responding to anger or fear, each time you redirect energy into productive presence, you expand inner sovereignty. Life does not become devoid of storms, but storms no longer dictate the course of your mind. You move with calm authority, clarity and purpose. The final act is mastery, understanding that all emotional turbulence is temporary and external. You are the observer, the captain, the sky. Negative thoughts and emotions will come, but they do not define you. Your responses, your choices, and your awareness define you. Mastery is not elimination, it is transformation. Energy that once fed despair, now fuels action. Thoughts that once enslaved, now illuminate clarity. Emotions that once ruled, now serve your presence. End negativity by seeing it clearly, stepping into presence, accepting what is, and redirecting energy consciously. The storm inside loses power when met with awareness, patience, and deliberate action. Your mind becomes unshakable, your inner environment sovereign, and your life aligned with clarity, calm, and authority. You are no longer a passenger to thoughts and emotions. You are the navigator, the stoic warrior, and the spiritual creator of your destiny. You have listened, absorbed, and stepped into the teachings of mastery. You have learned that your mind is not a battlefield to be won or lost, but a sky to be observed. You have faced fear, tamed anger, calmed anxiety, and seen negative thoughts and emotions for what they truly are, passing clouds, not chains. Each point is not just knowledge, it is practice. Each lesson is a step toward reclaiming sovereignty over your inner world. Remember this: mastery is not a destination, it is a way of being. It is living with awareness, responding with clarity, and moving through life with calm authority. You are not at the mercy of your thoughts. You are not defined by your emotions. You are the observer, the guide, and the creator of your own reality. Fear, anger, anxiety, and negativity exist, but they do not command you. Your choices, your presence, and your focus define your life. Take this forward. Breathe when the storm rises. Pause before reacting. Observe what is passing. Accept what cannot be changed. Direct energy where it matters. Step deliberately, even when fear or doubt tugs at your mind. Each action, no matter how small, is a victory. Each moment of awareness is a fortress built within. You are a Stoic warrior and a spiritual creator. Your mind is your kingdom, your emotions your allies, your life a canvas of deliberate action and clarity. Rise into that truth. Move through life with presence and authority. And as you continue this journey, remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your commitment in the comments below. Declare your sovereignty over your mind, your energy, and your destiny. May your mind remain clear, your spirit steady, and your path aligned. May every storm you face forge strength, clarity, and mastery within. The sky is yours. Step into it.